Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying,
Lord, he whom you love is ill.
But when Jesus heard it, he said,
This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it.
Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to the disciples,
Let us go to Judea again.
Jesus, problem here. So the Jews over there, they were just trying to stone you. Okay, so why in the world would you want to go back there?
Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awaken him.
Lord, if he has fallen asleep, from my experience, he will recover.
Now Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought that he meant taking a rest and sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly,
Lazarus has died. And for your sake, I am glad that I was not there, that you may believe. But let us go to him.
So Thomas, called the twin, said to his fellow disciples,
Let us also go and die.
Now when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, but Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus,
Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you.
Your brother will rise again.
I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day.
I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?
Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God who is coming into this world.
Now when she heard this, she went and called her sister Mary, saying in private,
The teacher is here and is calling for you.
When she heard it, she rose quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who were with her in the house, consoling her, saw Mary rise quickly and go out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. Now when Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet, saying to him,
Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.
When he saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and greatly troubled.
Where have you laid him?
Lord, come and see.
Jesus wept.
See how he loved him. Could not he who opened the eyes of a blind man also have kept this man from dying?
Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it.
Take away the stone.
Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he's been dead 4 days.
Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?
So they took away the stone, and Jesus lifted up his eyes and said,
Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this on account of the people who are standing around, that they may believe that you sent me.
When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice,
Lazarus, come out!
The man who had died came out, his hands and feet bound with linen strips.
Unbind him and let him go.
Not too long after this event, Jesus was arrested by the religious leaders and sentenced to death by Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Jerusalem. Jesus died a horrible death on a cross to pay the debt for our sins. The Bible tells us that the wages of sin is death. Christ died under the weight of all our sins. He was buried in a tomb and rose to life 3 days later, showing his victory over sin and death. And now he sits at the right hand of God. He's inviting you to be his child and receive the free gift of salvation through him. The Bible tells us that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Jesus offers the free gift of salvation to all who place their faith in him.